Okay, now we finna start number 9. Name of Yahweh, on the name authority Yahshua Messiah, on the direction of the Holy Spirit. This term always protects this message every time I'm giving it to y'all. So if you wonder why I'm always saying it, I'm also saying it to myself. Yahweh, who's here, all right? The Son that's here, all right? And the Holy Spirit, which is what I breathe. Please don't misunderstand me. Now, number 9 is, you can write this down, it's the emotion of overload / and or overwhelm. Okay? Both of these two terms interchangeably are the same emotion. Overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed or overloaded. All right? Now, it says grief, depression, and helplessness are merely expressions of feeling overloaded or overwhelmed. Grief happens when we feel like there is no empowering meaning for something that has happened, or that your life is being negatively impacted by people, events, or forces that are outside of your control. People in this state become overwhelmed and often begin to feel that nothing can change the situation, that the problem is too big, is permanent, pervasive, and personal. People go into these emotional states whenever they perceive their world in a way that makes them, remember what I just said, that was the key word, perceive their world in a way that makes them feel like there's something, there's more going on, than can possibly be dealt with. Emphasis, i.e., but the pace, the amount, or intensity of sensations seems overwhelming. That is a perspective that you need to evaluate. Your perspective is your belief. Your belief is your perspective, because how you see things are how you believe they ought to be. But sometimes the way things appear aren't the way they really are if you are tricked into taking them as is instead of questioning what you're seeing. Okay? Now, what does overload or overwhelm message us? What is that telling us? The message here is, the message of being overwhelmed is that you need to reevaluate. What's the word I just said a minute ago? You need to step back. Things ain't always is the way you see them. Sometimes you got to reevaluate and recheck what you checking out, because it might not be what you think. All right? So you need to reevaluate what's important to you in the situation. So where you might be overwhelmed, what is most important that you come out of this situation with? Your safety, your health and well-being, okay? And basically your emotions, but your emotions can always, they can always be refurbished. You can always treat them, because you're your own doctor. You can always treat them. So it's none of that can be fixed. But your safety, sometimes that can't be fixed. Okay. So now that we got number 9 out the way, all right, trigger here is you need to reevaluate what is important to you in this situation when you feel like you can't handle things. All right. Now, I'm going to say this before we move number 10, because this just jumped out at me. My ancestors are steady point down, like, man, check this out, man. But I said I was going to put this within the other videos when I go to breaking this down. But to add on to overwhelm or overload emotion, number 9, it says, our self-esteem is often tied to our ability to control our environments. You can't control your environment. You can only control how you perceive and you move through your environment. Get that through your goddamn head. Quit beating yourself up over shit you can't control. Things going on in your environment and you believe because your hand can't put down in what's going on, things ain't going right. No, you need to change yourself against the environment. When you change yourself, things around you will change. Quit thinking you have the power to change the course of energy inside of environments with people who are not even tuned with their own energies and want to actually change. Okay? When we create an environment inside of our minds that has too many intense and simultaneous demands upon us, of course, we'll feel overloaded. But we also have the power to change this by focusing on what we can control and dealing with it one step at a time. And I'm going to say this before we go to number 10. My grandfather, may he rest in peace, told me when I was a young man, he used to always tell me when I used to get frustrated about things that I couldn't get control over. And he used to tell me, he said, son, he said, don't worry yourself about nothing you can't change with your own hands. He said, and you'll find out you'll stay a lot more calmer and stress-free. He told me, he said, when life throws all the bullshit that it throws at him, he used to tell me, man, if he can't change it with his hand, he just roll with it because it wasn't meant for him to change. Just what I understood. And you know what? It took me over half my life before it actually clicked onto me to what he was actually saying. I understood it, but I couldn't incorporate it into my reality until I got much older. But when I started applying it in my life, man, the stress levels went down. Because I see so much bullshit just like everybody. I see plenty of bullshit all the time. But if it ain't nothing I can do with my hands to change the course of what's happening, that means it's not meant for me. So why should I worry about how things are going to evolve or what course they're going to take? Because obviously it somebody else going through a stitch of karma that I'm not supposed to be involved in. And that means I need to stay back, keep to myself, and let whatever's happening in their life play out. Now, number 10. Man, I'm feeling it, man. This is every time I talk and I'm reading this for myself, man, got me on hype status. You hear me? Man, look. The way I be working on me, see, I try to come on here to help the collective so they know how to help themselves. And man, when I'm working on me, man, when I'm being a mechanic, man, and the Most High, man, they coming down on me, man, pointing out things that need to change. I'm talking about I get on hype status. You heard me? I'm talking about, man, I'm about ready to go there, you know what I'm saying? But no, I got my work to finish in this realm, so nonetheless, I'm gonna be with y'all, okay? All right, loneliness is the 10th emotion. Loneliness. Sadly, when I talk about this, I mean it from my heart to the collective. So many souls who were supposed to stay here and finish out their karmic cycles never made it because they felt nobody in the world cared to know who they were and what they were about. And their loneliness made them feel so detached that they unalived themselves, sadly. And a lot of people are thinking this is the way out, and it's not. You're meant to deal with these challenges. And if you've been given these challenges, that means obviously you was built for it. Because the Most High, Yahweh, is not going to put no burden on you that you can't handle. Trust me. But he allows you to grow from the challenges. He ain't gonna move you from the storm if he knows it's something that can help make you better. Number 10, loneliness. Anything that makes us feel alone, apart, or separate from others belongs in this category. Have you ever felt really lonely? I don't think there's anybody alive who hasn't. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna cut this video, and then we'll resume with the explanation of these afterwards. But the signal message for loneliness means the message of loneliness is that you need a connection with people. But what does this message mean? People often assume it means a sexual connection or instant intimacy. Then they feel frustrated because even when they do have intimacy, they still feel lonely, all right? That's not the case. So we must cultivate ourselves. I love y'all.